startup out of Berlin. And this idea I'm really excited about because I think in general we need to shift away from an economy where we're buying stuff and more towards like if we have disposable income, moving in towards experiences and services. So this is a peer-to-peer experience marketplace. Basically anyone can handcraft an experience and offer it up to others for sale or for trade or whatever it is. So, you know, you can see people are, you might lead them on a photograph in New York City tour or a dumpling tour or, you know, a class on how to do this or that. So you're basically offering up to other, and this is particularly interesting if you have tours. So like maybe here, I might offer a tour of like the swimming holes or the cool gorges or something. And people that aren't familiar with the area can come and like, we can share our local knowledge and expertise to people that are traveling. Just a few other examples that I think are particularly interesting. Key Wi-Fi is another startup that's going to allow you to take, if you've got a Wi-Fi connection, well, like, it doesn't really make sense for every house to have it. They overlap. Maybe you can take it and sell out your Wi-Fi access to other people in the neighborhood. So you're actually like maybe making money off of having a Wi-Fi connection. Good Karma is a cool model where people, for obviously if you have a kid and they're getting older and growing faster and using their clothes up, they don't last very long. So this is like a clothes rental thing, and you can choose different levels of kind of style. And every 3 months or something, you trade in the clothes that you've been using and receive new ones in return that are appropriate to your child's size. And the clothes they get back that are no longer usable, they're repurposed into bibs and things like that. TaskRabbit is, I think, these sort of models, this is an errand running service, and it basically, you get to post something, like if you have a need, picking up groceries, or come over and assemble this piece of furniture, or mow my lawn, whatever it is, this allows you to do that, and you have all these tools, meanwhile, to like make sure that the person who's doing this job for you is somebody you can trust and rely on. So I think this, again, is going to be a very interesting part of our economy going forward, because we're going to have these opportunities to just make money and get resources in ways that we didn't really have before, or now is so accessible. And land share I touched on a little bit before. That's sharing your land for gardening. Let's see. All right, so I'm just going to jump back quickly to this one and just show you some of the growth here. These are actually not to scale because, especially in the peer-to-peer lending one, it's such ridiculous growth it wouldn't even fit in this thing. You can see last year, or 2011, there was $330 million in peer-to-peer lending, which, well, let me tell you what that is first. This is going to change the way we fund and finance things. Instead of going to banks and financial institutions, we're going to give loans to each other. And you can go online and say, I need a loan to, do some home repairs. And if you're have the right credit and background, then people from all over the community or all over the world can, give you like $100 loans. And it turns out people are getting much better rates, and there's significantly lower default rates because people just are more responsible when they're loaning to other people rather than banks. So it's very interesting. Anyway, $330 million in 2001 is projected to go to $5 billion in 2013 there. So that's going to be a pretty significant thing. This middle one is housing rentals and Airbnb. You can see, they had $750 million in 2010. Last year they had $4 million. So that's growing really fast. And GetAround is a peer-to-peer car rental service, which is growing rapidly. And then here's just a few little stats down here. Again, the Airbnb renter, $21,000 a year that these renters are making on average in New York City. It's just like, that's a big chunk of extra cash. And someone did a study about a year and a half ago analyzing the average U.S. home and all the different assets that are there, whether it be space or DVDs or land or the car, and found that the average U.S. homeowner could make $42,000 a year from the stuff they already have by using these sorts of networks. So very exciting possibilities. Just to jump back to this is the peer-to-peer lending I was going to tell you about, and even more exciting than the lending, I think, are some of these things. Some of you may have heard of Kickstarter. These are Start Some Good is one that's specifically focused on like social enterprises. Indiegogo and Kickstarter fund creative enterprises, and these were the original things. But we're actually the Senate just passed the Jobs Act, which is going to be signed into law this week, presumably, and it has a crowdfunding provision, which these are gift-based things. So you give to Kickstarter $50 and you get a little gift back in return. Crowdfunding will actually allow you to have an investment, which is really exciting because it'll open up so many new opportunities and investments. So you're not stuck just giving money to Wall Street and the public corporations down there. You can have a whole portfolio of things you're investing in your community. So I think that's going to have a really profound impact at shifting power away from Wall Street corporations and the hands of people. So this slide I want to show you is just an overview of the kind of progression that we're going through in this collaborative consumption or peer-to-peer thing. Historically, we had this column over there on the side where we owned our cars, and then we started moving towards car sharing. Ithaca Car Share is a great example of that. But that's still just the beginning because there's a lot of barrier to entry in doing. You have to buy all these cars, and people are increasingly realizing, well, nowadays, like, we all own cars already. They're sitting around unused, and hey, why don't we just start renting them to each other? Like, that's great. And then the ride sharing in between, which is kind of a bridge. All right, so all these things are going to converge together to form what I'm calling the collaborative economy, and this is the revolution I'm talking about. This is going to be the new future of how we support each other. Community-based, engaging in things like time banking and building guilds in our neighborhood, and supporting micro-enterprises and cooperatives, local currency sharing, and then really just on the commercial side, engaging with each other, selling and buying from each other, and really, I think this will allow our local economy to flourish as more and more of these spending starts happening locally, and more people will tune into the system. Just these new opportunities will pop up everywhere for new markets and new ways to sort of support yourself. And increasingly, we're going to have people that are not holding down regular jobs, but rather supporting themselves and their families by lending and sharing and bartering and leveraging their extra spaces and skills and time by cooperating with the people around them. And again, we're just going to have all these neat things that I can't even foresee of ways that people are going to suddenly, like, maybe you have a little barber shop you run out of your house, and then you have a little dinner club, and you serve meals to other people in the neighborhood, you run some errands for people, and then when they come home for dinner, you're also selling your handmade drum. It's just there'll be all these new ways for people to meet their needs, and I think it's going to be really, really exciting. So what do we got now? Right. So we need an exciting new future because where we are right now is not really so good. We have a system that consumes vastly more resources per person than exists on this planet. And we've run against this climate change wall. If you guys are familiar with this graph, I think this is the most important visual that everybody should be seeing. This is the atmospheric carbon concentration. You can see it's rapidly growing up. 350 is the line that climate scientist James Hansen has sort of suggested is where we need to be in order to have kind of a somewhat normal planet. You can see we're up to 394, and it's just like, even if we stop right now, this will continue well up into the 400s and give rise far beyond that. So we've run against this wall, and this realization that this abundant fuel source upon which we've predicated this current economy, that burning it is basically like burning the fuse of a giant time bomb, which is going to really destroy our future. So we need to really change our plan, and we need to change it pretty fast. I think that's a scary proposition for a lot of people because this is comfortable where we are in general, but I don't think it's something we should really fight or fear, because ultimately, if you think, really examine what's going on, there's not a whole lot that's so great about our current world. I mean, as a people, we are historically unhappy. We're unhealthy. We work too much. Play too little. We're not connecting with the people and families around us. And the system that is failing us, it is also really destroying the planet as well, and wreaking havoc on ecosystems and fundamentally altering this biosphere for thousands or millions of years to come. So I think that if globalization were the CEO of a company, we would have fired it long ago. And if we're a politician, I sure hope that we would not be elected. And if this were, say, your partner, I think that you might have dumped him a while ago and moved on. I think that's exactly what we need to do. We need to move on, we need to dump globalization and move on to something better and reinvent this world. Redesign a system that allows us to thrive within our means and build a society that allows us to have more while consuming less and uses our resources to acquire experiences and services rather than just accumulating a bunch of stuff we don't really need. And if we can move beyond this obsession with GDP and growth and start measuring the success of our designs in things like resiliency, fulfillment, and resourcefulness, I think we're going to make giant strides towards building a future that allow us to grow communities instead of corporations. And I think technology is going to really afford us the opportunity to do this in a serious way. And in Switch's case, which I'm going to tell you a little bit next, we're going to have the opportunity to do this right now, right here. And if we in Ithaca can embrace this new economy and show the world how awesome it is, all the potential and the possibilities and the fun, I think it's going to spread. And if it does that, it's going to go a long way towards potentially changing this world and fixing a lot of the problems that I outlined in this speech. So